Modular construction is the answer to the affordability crisis here in the United States. It's not the only answer, but it should be looked at a lot more. The current median price for a home is over $400,000. If we got on board with more modular construction, we can make a huge dent into that. Today, we're going to be looking at Irontown Modular Homes.
Do you guys know what the website is?
And they're going to be showing us their products when it comes to the affordability crisis. And if you think modular home construction looks junky, well, you're wrong, because take a look at these.
Or these ADUs?
So we can build any of these IRC or PMRV. I believe that our Cabana 500 is a PMRV.
Okay.
But like I said, a lot of what we do, the finishes are all the same. So the code that they're using is kind of more internal.
Oh, look at here. Wow.
So this is our Mesa 400.
So this could be made into an ADU, right? Like people use this as an ADU.
Yeah, we want it to be affordable, but we also want it to look nice. And really, you know, one of the areas that's really taking off is the glamping idea, where people want to be out in nature. Sure. Want to be out in nature, but so that's the loft option that we have. You can do it without a loft as well, but that gives you a little extra sleeping space.
I just want people to see the options, right? So when it comes to affordable housing, people always think, well, it has to be like Home Depot looking cabinetry. It has to be, you know, vinyl type of countertops. Whenever they're thinking affordable housing, they're thinking it has to look cheap. But there are options that don't necessarily have to look cheap. They're good quality stuff.
Fantastic.
You were telling me something earlier about a quartz product that you use?
Yes, I use this quite often because people want quartz. It's trendy. It holds up well. It looks great.
And it's a stone.
The way that it becomes more affordable is the standard thickness of quartz is 3 cm, 3 centimeter. This we can get in a 2 centimeter. And what that means is you save on material cost. It is still rated for kitchen and bath. And so that is a way that we can get quartz, get the look, get the functionality of it, but get it at a little bit lower cost.
Very nice. Oh, look, and these are the more affordable cabinetry that you were talking about.
Those are the Belmont 1300. So if you're wanting a little bit more traditional look, we go with KCD. If you're liking a flush panel look, we go with Belmont. They have 3 different lines. They're located up in Seattle. Amazing company. Their Belmont 1300 series is the one that we use when we're going for the most affordable. This is a laminate, so they have several different styles. One-tone paint, because that's the more modern. We actually do, in these smaller units, the modern spec is to do the smaller baseboard and casing. Really lean towards modern.
And this is where the washer and dryer
Dryer stack right there. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
In our bathroom, we have a wall hung vanity.
And these don't get damaged in travel?
They ship. Yeah. Amazing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
When it comes to modular construction, there's always a confusion if this home is built to the same standards as a traditional house, or is it better than a traditional house? Is it built to IBC code? Is it built to IRC code? Is it built to HUD specifications? Like, what are modular homes?
IRC?
IRC.
This one's IRC.
Yep.
Tell the audience what IRC means.
So IRC is the International Residential Code. It is the baseline code for the whole country on residential structures up to a small townhome.
Modular certification, but you have to know what building code it's built to.
Right. And park models is a third one, and that's one we've seen today. Is that's also a part of the mix, and it's got its purpose and its use, but there's confusion. You can't put, and a lot of it's about use. You can put an IRC building pretty much anywhere.
Right.
Park model RVs can only go in certain places.
All right, before we confuse you any further, let me explain what a PMRV is. A park model RV. So basically think of it as that it was built for an RV, those RV building code specifications. If you look at park models, they look no different than most ADUs, which is accessory dwelling units. I'm sure you've seen tons of them everywhere, but the building code that they're built to is completely different. They're really meant for like temporary housing. They're not designed for long-term living use. Thinking of them as the things that they use for like glamping, or they're really great for temporary housing after a natural disaster. But they look like traditional housing. They're just not built to the same code.
Because yeah, we can actually build according to RV code as well. You want us to take a step up?
Yeah, I do. Well, this is
Let me
this is
take
really
this.
nice.
Not sure.
That's cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Yeah.
I like it. But someone could technically use this as like a tiny home or something, right?
Little tiny home. Yeah, it could be on wheels or off wheels, and it still meets the RV code.
Oh, so this is an RV. That's amazing that you do that too.
We do. Modern, high-end finishes.
Well, this is lovely.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been into some employee housing before, and it wasn't like this. And
this is the downstairs bedroom. See, and I can.
what is this?
That is the platform that comes
Oh.
down.
Okay, so then you
So
would,
this is the raised area from upstairs. High quality. So
yeah. I just want to climb these stairs. Oh,
we could build this as a IRC as well. So
but you know what? This is much better than a lot of RV tiny homes that I've seen. It's because of the headroom.
yeah.
Like, here, grab this camera so they can see. I'm 5'1.5". I'm standing in the second floor of this, what is it, PMRV?
PMRV.
Yeah, PMRV.
So I'm 6'4", and I can stand up.
Oh, your hair is starting. That's it. You just have to shave your hair. Yeah. I don't have to like really crawl.
This is where the mattress goes.
I like it. This was thought out well.
Very much. Yeah, these are going to be at a resort in Colorado.
Oh, look, there's even a washer dryer space. That's, yeah, you can get one of those inclusive ones.
Yep, one piece.
This is the Mesa 200.
Okay, so this is 200
So this is a PMRV.
Okay.
So this is kind of the thought is that it would go into a campground or a high-end glamping type situation. So in this one, you just have the kitchenette studio.
This is more like a cabin. Like you're on the mountains.
Yeah.
You put a couple of these up there to enjoy
Yeah.
the mountain views.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Especially with the windows
Yeah.
on both sides. So you have windows on this side and in the front, and that's a whole sliding
whole
glass
look,
window. Yeah. I couldn't live in this like year round. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, this is definitely more on the hospitality side.
Right.
A shorter term stay.
like a hotel.
Yeah.
It's individual hotel room. Yeah, but if I was on the beach or in the mountains,
Yeah.
this would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
So once again, you have the less expensive SPC flooring in here. So this is the affordable flooring.
That
I'm
mean?
familiar with LVP, which is luxury vinyl planking.
Okay.
SPC is water shield. SPC. I don't remember what the letters are, but the S in it stands for stone. So this is a stone core rather than a vinyl core. So it's going to hold up really well. It's not going to expand and contract as much with heat. And we've really loved this line.
Is this an upgrade from engineered wood flooring or?
I would say engineered wood flooring is still a higher price point.
Okay, gotcha.
So it would kind of go LVP, SPC are pretty similar. You can get some really inexpensive LVPs, but where you see that is the patterns that they create on the LVPs are very repetitive. So you walk in and you can tell right away.
Very uniform.
Yeah, very uniform, not a lot of variation, not a lot of color variation, not a lot of depth.
Gotcha.
So where we like this, you do see quite a bit of variation. You have lots of color and lots of depth. But you still get all the benefits of the LVP or SPC, where it's waterproof. You can run that right into the bathrooms, and it's not a problem to have it there. It's easily cleanable. It does not scratch, hardly at all, especially compared to your engineered wood.
Home builders have had an uphill battle when it comes to making homes more affordable. In many cases, people love to put the blame on home builders, but it's really not their fault. The biggest problem that most home builders are facing is the red tape that it takes to actually get a home in its location. The cost to develop land is astronomical, and the time that it takes for them to actually be able to put a house on the piece of land once it's developed can take years. I'm not talking 3 years, I'm talking 10.
We were talking earlier about how to make this more affordable and the processes about it. And you give me a great analogy, so I'd love for you to share with the class.
Well, so if you think about it, I mean, everybody in there, everybody, all your viewers, me, everybody I know has a cell phone, right? Well, this is an extremely complicated, powerful device. And if this was manufactured at low volume, how many people would have a cell phone? Right. Very few. And the reason everybody has one is because it's mass produced. It's developed into this amazing machine because it's mass produced. Everything we use that's mass produced is just better, and it's cheaper too. And the problem with housing is not produced on a mass scale. Even when we do production, we're higher than custom, but it's not like what we're doing in other sectors. Okay, and here's why. The big problem is we aren't mass producing land. As soon as we can figure out as a society how to mass produce land and put that in front of us, everything else will follow. And that's what I think modular is really going to make some waves.
How do you mass produce land? Like, what do you mean by that?
So mass production of land is entitlement and development of land. That's how buildable lots are produced. Dirt's there, right? We're not talking about making dirt. We're talking about forming the dirt from a raw piece of land into a buildable lot.
Okay, so basically, how do we make this a streamlined process instead of each individual lot that has to meet these specific regulations? Like each lot has all these steps happen at once.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to develop one lot or 100 lots, it's the same process. You have to go through, and a lot of people just do it themselves with a small scale. And the builders, it's millions and millions of dollars to develop 50 lots.
It is.
Right? So it's very expensive. The way that happens, California has done it. Believe it or not, California, where it's kind of a crazy place, right? But they've done it. And here's what they did. They went, their housing crisis still is so deep that they said, we've got to do something. They were 850,000 homes short. And they said, they recognize the need for land, buildable lots. So what they did is they said, okay, every town, every city, every county in California, you are going to allow ADUs. They mass produced buildable lots through legislation.
Right. So they almost like cut a bunch of red tape.
They cut the tape.
Yeah.
And I think that's how ADUs are going to change things.
So ADUs are just one part of the solution to the affordability crisis. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings when it comes to ADUs, but they do have very practical uses for lots of people. You don't have to look at it as something as just as a rental unit. You can, but it also could be something for an aging family member or a child that has just gotten out into the world and starting their college degree. They don't necessarily want to live with mom and dad, so they would have their own space in their own backyard. California has even allowed for you to sell off that parcel of land so you could own that little ADU, that little tiny home. And a lot of people think, oh, they're cardboard boxes. They're really not. You really can update them, and they don't have to be so teeny tiny. I know that some of the ones that we're seeing today are very small, but they are very practical. I know me, when I was a single person, would have been elated to have a little house like this one right here.
Oh, this is lovely. This feels bigger. Is this bigger than the last one?
This is a 500. The one we were just in is a 400.
So this is 100 square feet bigger. Wow, what a big difference 100 square feet makes. Oh, I could do this much better.
Yeah, this is nice. So you have, this allows for a range that's smaller. It's a 24-inch versus a 30-inch. Your fridge is also, I believe it's a 27-inch, so still a little smaller sink, but you still, get the functionality of all of those. These are the Belmont 1300 cabinets as well. That was a style that I didn't really show you, but the black cabinets. I love those. We've done a
Those
lot.
are the higher end though, right?
Those are those are also affordable. They're
These
the same,
are?
They're the same price point as the other ones. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we love this style.
Could these be made for accessibility, for wheelchair accessibility?
We can look at that. Yeah, for sure. We've done a lot of our plans where we take those things into consideration and build for that.
Well, yeah, because I'm thinking of like an elderly parent that wants that affordable ADU in the backyard. This would be perfect, but how much room?
Right.
This would fit. Maybe you just need to make it a little bit wider, maybe.
Sometimes they make ADA compliant units, and then they sometimes make what they just would call accessible, right? So the ADA compliant, the regulations are much more strict, and, but we can make, so we don't always have a need for that, but we do definitely look at having units more accessible.
These are real.
Yeah, that's tile, isn't that awesome?
I thought it was a sheet of
Nope.
like some kind of plastic of some sort. No, these are real.
That is.
And this is on there too, prior to being shipped.
Yeah, it's shipped just like this. Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah, the whole thing is completed.
Employee housing, I mean, that's part of affordability. Is these are actually subsidized rent too. Not from the government, from the company they work for. So as long as they work for this resort, they can have subsidized rent, and it gives the employees a nice place to live, and it's mutually beneficial.
So you're probably thinking, well, if it can be built with better materials, it's built to a really high standard of building code. Well, what makes this better than a traditional built house? I mean, they're doing the same exact things as traditional home building. Well, it's the speed. It's the speed of how they can get things done. It's all done in a factory.
So this is a building. We put the entire building through a computer program that models everything out in a 3D format. Okay. And so what that does is that takes every wall, every floor, every ceiling, and it lays out all the framing. It tells us what the framing member is, what label it is, and what quantity we have. Okay, and we've got a whole book here. So this whole booklet does an entire house.
If this went missing tomorrow, would you be SOL?
We would be slow. We could still build.
Do you
but
have backups of these?
Yes, we have electronic. It's all electronic. So
I would print a few of these.
we print extras.
Okay.
So we started with a production start. There's an entire process of pre-construction. So pre-construction will include architectural design, engineering, mechanical, electrical, plumbing design, product selections. Sometimes there's an architect involved. Sometimes there's an interior designer involved. All of that happens ahead of where we started. We actually started in the middle of the process. Okay, and then this is where the production process starts.
Right. So after
We pre-cut everything there, then we start building on the table. So this is a floor table and that's a wall table. That's how the
I have to ask. So you have all this here. After somebody's finished, is there somebody that goes behind that person to make sure that they did what they were supposed to?
We have a 36-point quality assurance process.
What does that mean?
It means that when they finish before they sheet it, they do a checklist.
Okay.
After they sheet it, they do a checklist.
Who does the checklist then?
We have quality control people.
Oh, okay.
All of our team leads are responsible to do those checklists. So we have all of our leads do their own quality control. And then we have a third party that comes in
Oh, good.
and does an additional check at one stage in the rough and one stage in the back end. So all of these openings line up with all of those openings. And when it pushes together, it will all be joined.
Oh, look at that. That's called engineering.
Yes, we do that.
Look at you. I'm so proud of you.
We tape measures and saws. Yeah, we got it figured out.
Wow.
If you are concerned about the building materials and what they're using to build these modular homes, most modular home factories will let you do a tour. And you can take a look exactly what they're using on each and every phase of the building process. You can see that there's the same exact materials that you would see in traditional home building, just like this.
we build everything on the tables. We assemble them. We actually use large overhead cranes to move things around. And then we have a completed module that's framed. And this is an example of one right here. And once it's framed, we can add to it. So we can add windows, we can add the exterior cladding, the plumbing, the electrical, the mechanical, and everything's been planned out ahead of time.
Oh, then you can see that radiant barrier.
Yep, this one has a radiant barrier in the ceiling.
Do all your homes have the radiant barrier in the ceiling?
It's optional. Not everybody wants to do that because
Really?
of cost.
Why?
It's costly.
Yeah, but then you save so much on
I
your...
know. That's what we tell them. We say, hey, there's some savings here, and a lot of times it's selected.
This is one of those things. If you live in a hot climate, you will save more money by paying upfront for the radiant barrier.
It's not a lot of money.
There's no skin in the game for me on this. Get the radiant barrier. I have to know, what is Tyvek made of? Because it just looks like paper.
I don't know.
But it's not like, it looks like paper.
It's got
but it's
polymers and
plastic
I don't know.
And little fibers.
It's made by DuPont.
I know.
They're a chemical company.
Yeah.
I just know that it's awesome.
It is awesome.
And it keeps our houses dry.
Yes.
Spend a lot of attention on weather barrier and ceiling. We don't want any leaks on our windows.
And this is even true of your affordable housing.
Everything.
Everything gets it.
Everything gets it. Let's go in here. Large step. So this unit is just about ready for insulation.
Okay.
So it's got the wires in the walls. Those are all installed. This is the refrigerant lines for the heating and cooling unit.
So let me ask you this. So all the modular units will have the plumbing and the wiring done before they ever get to the site.
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. This reminds me of Little Pink Houses for you and me.
Yeah. This is like a treasure hunt. Okay, and you can step on that steel skate.
Okay. Oh, we're insulated now. Oh, the sound.
You notice the difference?
Oh, the sound is so much different.
So in our factory, we do exclusively blown-in insulation as our standard. And so we put a mesh on the wall, okay? And you see it's all stapled very firmly. We don't want anything to leak over onto the stud. And then we poke a hole and fill it up, and poke a hole and fill it up, and poke a hole and fill it up. But the reason we like it is because this stack will do about 5 homes.
Ooh.
And it's very condensed. It's very easy to store and move around. And what we do is when we cut that, it blows up, it expands, and then we put in this machine, and this machine will break it down and put it in the walls.
Now, these specific modular homes in PMRVs that you've been looking at are very modern, and it may not be your style. But like I told you before, any modular home can be built to any specific style, including something as specific as a Hawaiian style. They're actually working on a project, hopefully it will get accepted, to help rebuild Hawaii after the wildfires. And of course, that style is going to be completely different than what they're currently making that we saw on the lot.
So we're working on presenting some affordable housing to Maui to help support all of the damage from the fires last year. So we're working on figuring out how to adapt some of our plans to fit more of their local design criteria and present some options for them that we could potentially help support them in their rebuild process.
That is super interesting.
Yeah, so I'm working on some renderings for that. I have some finished ones I could show you. Because there's a lot of people that are trying but not necessarily making it affordable or complying with the design that they're looking for their area. So we're hoping that we can help with that. But
well, not only that, it's very difficult to get building materials and everything they need over there. Modular construction could totally solve this problem.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. So
yeah, I think that if they do accept your design, that they should send you to Hawaii.
I think a company field trip is required. Yeah, I mean, I would not complain. That'd be pretty awesome.
It's on film.
I said this before, I'm going to say it again. Modular home construction needs to be in a bigger piece of the pie when it comes to solving the affordability crisis. It's not the only solution by far, but it should be a bigger piece to solve what's actually happening here right now in the United States. ADUs are part of the solution. Adding more apartments within a house while it's constructed, that's part of the solution. Even manufactured housing is a part of the solution. It's not a one size fits all. But if you don't agree with me, I want to know what you think in the comments section below. To watch more videos about modular home construction and what's going on in the industry, you're going to want to watch these videos right here. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer, and I tell you all this because good real estate information matters.